Hello, everybody. It is, I believe, the 3rd of February. I was going to start this off on the 1st, and then I forgot. But I thought I would try to do a little bit of a reading vlog. But I haven't finished anything yet, so I mean, it's not like you're missing anything. I am absolutely freezing. I've got like 2 shirts on, like 2 pants on. I am not a winter person. It has snowed outside. You've probably seen the pictures. I think I might have put them up before this clip. Either not, or you'll see them afterwards. But yeah, I am not a snow person. And we've got like about 5 inches, I think. And I know that's not a lot compared to some places, but that is enough for me. I'm done. I'm breaking up with winter. I'm done. Winter can go away and give me spring. I'm done. And so, anyway, I started out with my retro romance readathon. I'm going to do Raven's Vows. I don't know why I picked this one, except for, I don't know, I just like the cover. It's by Gail Wilson. And I just liked what it said on the back. It's whenever I started reading it, I found out it's like a marriage of convenience, which is actually one of my favorite tropes. So I kind of like that. And it's historical. And I'm almost done. I only got like this much to go. And I'm enjoying it. I mean, there's some things in it that I want to smack both the main characters upside the head. But I think that happens a lot with the marriage of convenience tropes, because it's like if they would just speak their minds and like what they're thinking, what they're feeling, sometimes, you know, they could just move on a little bit. But then there wouldn't be no story, right? So, so it's a little aggravating. This one has a little bit of intrigue and things in it too, though. Because basically, John Raven, he is an American, and he's in England, and he wants to build railroads, and he buys up coal mines and iron ore and things like that. And he knows that the future is coming whether they like it or not, and that railroads and things like that are going to be the thing of the future. And he wants to do all that stuff, but he needs investors. But he's an American in England, and of course, nobody wants to hear him out or talk to him or anything like that. So he needs, with the banker friend that's telling him that he's has working with him, tells him that he needs a wife. He needs a pretty prominent wife too. It can't just be anybody, but it has to be somebody that can get investors to him. And one day he ends up meeting this one lady, Catherine, and he liked her right off the bat. She was getting onto this like snake oil salesman type guy, because he was beating his donkey, trying to get him to pull whenever he didn't want to, and she was mad, and she was getting all over him, and she was going to buy the donkey from him, and told him she was just really laying into him. And John was witnessing this, and he was just like, that's her right there. That's the lady. And he found out who she was and told the banker guy, and he's like, man, you know, boy, you kind of like when you go for it, you do. She is the only daughter of the Duke of Montfort. I think it's Montfort or whatever. And he's very rich, very, very, very highly esteemed. He's kind of ruthless. He is called the Devil Duke for a reason. And he's like, you have no chance with her. You need to lessen your expectations a little bit and find somebody else. But nope, that's who he wanted. And so he pretty much makes an arrangement with her, because her father is about to make her marry somebody that she doesn't want to marry, even though he told her that she could make her own love match, but she's taking too long, and she's not wanting to have anything to do with the one that he's put her with, because she wants a little bit of freedom, and she wants to be her own person. And so John Raven, he knows this. She wants freedom, and so he arranges that, you know, they make a contract, that they get married, and she will be his hostess, and she will invite all the influential people that she knows to their house. She can decorate the house however she wants, use whatever money she wants. He's fairly rich. Doesn't need her father's money. She's fairly rich, and just, you know, make sure that he gets the contacts he needs so that he can build his railroad. Give her freedom. She can do whatever she wants, you know, and everything. Only one thing that she couldn't do, and that was to have an affair with somebody else. She had to stay strictly with him, but they weren't supposed to have any contact with each other. And so she didn't think that was necessarily very fair, but she went ahead with it anyway. And his idea is that eventually he can woo his own wife, because he really actually likes her. Like, it was kind of like love at first sight, I guess. And so he thinks he can, but each one of them, they don't talk to each other, and it's a little aggravating at times. But she went behind her father's back when they did this, and the father's not happy, and he's kind of out to get John Raven. And so there's been an accident where somebody shot her horse, but it was shooting the horse with an accident. They were actually aiming for Raven, but he bent down and it hit the horse and took off with her, and it could have hurt her really bad because she fell off the horse and everything. But yeah, then there was I'm at this point where something else has happened, and he knows it's her father, but getting her to believe that is something else. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm almost done. I'm hoping to finish it today. But yeah, I am also working on some other things. So I have a buddy read with my friend Barb, and we are reading Forbidden Falls by Robin Carr. It's the eighth book in the Virgin River series, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm like 50% into it. I'm listening to it on audiobook when I'm doing other things and everything, and I can't just sit down and read. And so yeah, I'm hoping to get that one finished up here pretty soon. And I'm starting on this one because it's huge, and it may take me all month to read it, depending on the time that I can give it. But it's Keeper of the Lost Cities, Exile. It's the second book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series by Shannon Messenger, and I think I'm on like the 4th chapter. I'm on chapter 4, so yeah, I haven't gotten very far. Not very far. But yeah, like, can't get the pages apart. Yeah. So I'm on page 34. So yeah, I haven't gone very far. But I've been reading like a chapter or a couple chapters before I go to bed. Have this one sitting beside my bed when I just kind of work on it a little bit. So far, it's not bad, but I haven't gotten very far. But I really like the first one, so hopefully. Then I'm wanting to get started on, the lighting in here is horrible. Okay. I wanted to get started on Lavelle Spencer's Years. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Breezy Ann, and she started it already, but that's because it's like 20 hours on audiobook, and so yeah, we need to step up and get going. It's a chunky one. It doesn't look like that chunky, but it's like 472 pages. Yeah, it's pretty big. And whew, look at that writing. It has some teeny tiny writing. I'm glad I got the audiobook for this one, because I am realizing something. The older I have gotten, I haven't read a whole lot of these mass market paperbacks, and their writing is teeny tiny, and you need good lighting. And so a lot of times I'm like trying to get the lighting the way I need it, and I'm like, where's my ebook where I can just like make the lighting come up on it? Yeah, I may have to invest in one of those little lights you put on here so I can see, or I'm gonna have to have a flashlight, because yeah, the lighting we have in our house isn't like perfect. It's not too bad in my room, but like downstairs, it's not really all that great. And like, I can't see it. I have to like sit up front and like kind of look like this trying to read it. It's not very fun. But, and my eyes, the print, and it hurts my wrist, like holding it open. I got carpal tunnel a little bit, and so I had to put on this wrist brace whenever I'm reading. It's pretty sad. I know. I'm feeling old. I'm feeling old. And I'm not really that old, but I'm feeling old. My eyesight's going. It's bad. Anyway, so that is how things are going. I'm just here, bundled up, trying to stay warm underneath the cover, reading my book. I will touch base back with you whenever, hopefully, I have finished a book. Hello, everybody. It is Friday. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I thought I would pop on here because I finished this last night. I just was too lazy to set up and film. But I'm excited. I finished a book on my retro romance readathon, so that's exciting. And I really enjoyed it too. I gave 4 stars. I think I rambled quite a bit about this in a clip before, so I won't talk too much about it. But yeah, I really liked it. I think there was a couple of things that I can see where people might think that it's problematic, but it is from 1997, and you have to just, just not worry about it, because I don't. The main character here, his Raven, his grandmother was Native American, and so that's why he's got a little bit darker skin, and he has this dark black hair, and it's a nod to his heritage. He wouldn't cut his hair, even though over in England they thought he should cut his hair and look more like the English there. He would put it up in what they call like a queue, which is I guess just like a ribbon or whatever, and tied it back and everything, which I think is pretty cool. And she comes from a very prominent and very powerful family, and so yeah, big dynamics there and everything. There was a bit of the intrigue. I don't know if I mentioned it before about somebody's after Raven, and you're not really exactly sure if it may be the father or a jilted beau from Catherine's past, because she was quite flirty with a bunch, and there was this one guy that was pretty sure he was going to marry her, which is the reason she chose to marry this guy instead. For the marriage of convenience or whatever. I did mark something here, and so that I could make note. I made a little note, and I got a little aggravated at Catherine here at the beginning, because she knows that Jared, which is the jilted beau, he's not a nice guy, and she knows he's not a nice guy. So whenever he tells her at the first outing party that they go to or whatever, Raven's not real comfortable in that setting, and he also told her she could have her freedom, so that meant she could have the freedom to flirt and do whatever she wanted, dance with all the guys and everything, and he didn't want to watch that personally, so he was playing cards, and Jared got her to go upstairs and play cards privately with him and everything, and by goading her, by telling her that Raven probably wasn't telling her the truth and probably tricked her into marriage or whatever, saying that he didn't have any clue about the marriage contract that her father had set up for him and her and stuff. But it's like she's gonna take his word for it that Raven, so she got so upset that she thinks Raven tricked her into being married to him instead. And so she goes up there to play cards with him, where she gets herself into trouble because she loses. And when she loses, he says he wants her bracelet, but she knows that Raven would miss it. And so Jared's like, well, I tell you what, I won't take your bracelet, but I'll expect a kiss in return. And he goes, I will come to collect it whenever I'm ready. And so she worries about that, and that gets her into some trouble. But it was just like, why are you believing the worst in the guy that you decided to marry whenever you know this other guy's kind of a creep? And that made me a little aggravated. But and the fact that they wouldn't talk to each other aggravated me a little bit. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. it was a lot of fun. And yeah, 4 stars. So I have, oh, and today I finished Forbidden Falls by Robin Carr, which is the 8th book in the Virgin River series. Really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars. I really liked Noah and Ellie. They were a lot of fun. My only problem with this, and gave me a little bit of the icky vibes, is that Noah is a preacher, and I'm not used to a book with a preacher in a secular setting, and books so that a little stuff goes on that I was not quite comfortable with the preacher and and so it was like, I had to like fast forward through that stuff because I was just no. But other than that, I don't know. It's just because I'm a church going person myself, and that just, I know they're a guy, they're a man, but I just didn't want to listen to that in my ear. And so I had to fast forward. But yeah, other than that, it was really good. Ellie was real spunky. She was a lot of fun. She's actually like the total opposite of Noah, which is what was the funnest part of it, is she was a stripper, but she's trying to get her kids back. And she needs a good job, and he has put a help wanted ad for an assistant because he bought this sight unseen kind. Well, he did look at it, but it was almost kind of like he bought it off eBay, a church in Virgin Rivers that Hope was trying to get rid of, and it's dilapidated and needs a lot of work. But he wanted this church. He needed a church of his own. And so he hires her. So basically, she's got to help him with like answering phones and helping him clean up and get the church ready. When she applies for it, he was like, oh boy, yeah, because here she is in this really low-cut tank top and all this stuff. And he's like, So she gets mad because she thinks he's not going to give her the job. And he ends up, she kind of guilts him into it a little bit, and he ends up giving her the job because he does feel bad about her trying to do good to get her kids. But she ends up being a very good assistant, and he really starts to care for her a lot and everything. So, but it was funny because just the dynamics between the preacher and the ex-dancer was kind of fun. But yeah, like I said, I liked it. Every time I read a book from Virgin River, it's like going back and being with family, because you still get all the characters from all the other books, and you get some things that are happening in their lives and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I started on audio Years by Laverne Spencer. I never can know if I'm saying her name right. Anyway, yeah. I just started it like 4 pages in, so yeah, I haven't really gotten very far. But I thought I'd mention it because I have started it. I just like that cover. It's pretty cool. And so yeah, this one's kind of a chunky one. It's like over 400 pages, and the writing, talk about tiny. So yeah, I was glad that I could find an audiobook for this one. The audiobook's 20 hours, so that lets you know how big this is. I also decided to pick up one to read, which is Run from the Wind by Rebecca Stratton. This is from 1974, and this one is from 1986, I forgot to say. But yeah, so 1974, so I'm a little curious. This is about a woman, Laura, who she has heard about this French place, this little French place called Saint Louis Les, I don't know how you'd say it, Bigots or something like that. Anyway, from her Uncle John, he's always talked about it. From when, I guess he was like maybe stationed there during the war or something, and he's always talked about that and everything. He's talked about the French and all these things. So after he dies, she decides to go and check out the place that he loved the most because she really cared for her Uncle John. And when she gets there, it seems like nobody cares for her Uncle John, and they don't have anything good to say about him. And so she's kind of curious about, what's going on. The place that she's staying at, it's a little hotel. I haven't gotten very far. I'm 20 pages into it so far. So, but there's like hotel. When she says who she is and who her uncle is, he just kind of acts differently or whatever. And there is this guy that she meets, Jean-Pierre Hervé or something like that. Anyway, Jean-Pierre. And he doesn't seem to care too much about her uncle either. And she learns that she's heard this guy's name before, but it was hard for her to associate the same person because when her uncle used to tell her stories, he was the young boy that her uncle used to talk about. But boy, had the years gone by because he ain't a young boy no more. So, yeah, I'm reading that one, and so far it's not bad. And we'll see how that goes. I am also reading on Exile, the Keeper of the Lost Cities, number 2 by Shannon Messenger. And yeah, I still haven't gotten very far. I did finally get the ebook that I could get from the library, so that'll make it easier for me, so I don't have to carry this chunky around. And I was needing a book for on the go whenever I'm going places, and so now I can be able to take this one with me. I don't like to take my print books with me if I don't have to. I prefer to carry my Kindle around, so. I think you might have seen pictures of my dog in action. I let her out to run around in the snow to see what she would think about it because it was pretty tall and she's little and everything, and so she got to jump around in the snow, and I don't think she's seen snow quite so big before. We haven't had a lot of good snows around here lately, which is fine with me, but we finally got kind of a nasty one, so she got to have fun in that. It was fun seeing her trying to hop around in the snow. Anyway, so I will check back with you whenever I've gotten progress in something or I finish something. Hello everybody, it's Saturday night and I'm just going to come in here and wrap it up and let you know like how far I've gotten in some of the books that I'm currently reading. I only finished 2 books from the start of February, which was on Tuesday, to now, which isn't really that bad. And I have been working on Years by Laverne Spencer, and I am really enjoying this one. To be honest, I wasn't really sure what I would think of it, but I know that Melissa from Library and Labradors is always talking about it, and she talked about how much she like really enjoyed this one, and she just made it sound really good, and I wanted to give it a try, and I had found some of these books from this author, and I thought, well, you know, I'll give it a try, but I haven't really read like any like historical romance types from like the 1917s and things like that, and so I just really wasn't sure, because usually the historical romances I read are more like in like the Regency era and stuff like that. And I also thought that this was probably gonna be maybe more like historical-ish, I don't know, but I don't know what I was expecting, actually, I'll say that. But I've really liked it, and like I started this, I do believe yesterday, I think, or the day before. I think it was yesterday though. I think I had read a little bit of it maybe the day before, but I really got into it yesterday during some reading sprints, and yeah, so I'm already over halfway through it, and so yeah, I've worked a lot on it today. I'm listening to the audiobook, and the audiobook was like 20 hours, and so yeah, I just really like it. It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. It's about Theodore or Teddy, who is 34, and he has kind of been he's been a little bit burned by love, because he got married when he was younger, and like 17, I think it was, 17, 18, somewhere around there, and he had a little boy, and then Melinda just ran off, and so he had to raise the boy on his own, but he has like a huge family, so he didn't have to do it on his own, because his mother helped him raise him, and the boy is 16 in this, and it's kind of weird, because the girl, Linnea, who comes to, is it Alamo? Alamo, North Dakota, to take a teaching job. She's 18, and she comes to, she's supposed to be living with the West Guards. And at the beginning, it was funny because Teddy was supposed to be meeting the new school teacher, and she was waiting for the guy who was supposed to pick her up, and they were both there, but Teddy was looking for a man because they always hire a male teacher because they're out in the kind of the like wilds of North Dakota. Like, it's country and it gets real cold and everything. And she never said she was, a woman, I guess. And they thought because of the initials, because she used the initials L.I. Brandenburg, that they just automatically assumed it was a man, I guess. And so whenever he finds out that she's the one that he's supposed to pick up, he gets really mad because the teacher usually stays at their house, and he's like, I'm going to have no woman in my house. It was really funny. So they don't get off to a very good start. But yeah, it is it's an age gap romance with Teddy and Linnea, and it's been a lot of fun because sparks fly and anger, and it's just definitely slow burn. I can definitely see why Melissa likes this book. And I'm really liking it, and I'm glad I'm liking it, and I hope I continue to like it. I think I will, because I am over halfway through it, and it's really the only book that I'm wanting to read right now. I have started Run with the Wind by Rebecca Stratton, but I've only read a little bit. I'm 3 chapters in. I'm on chapter 36, and I've always put it off to read this one, so I haven't really been reading that one much. And I am also reading on this one, like I've mentioned. I haven't really gotten that far. No, honestly, I don't know. Did I? So I'm 64 pages into this one, so yeah, I haven't really read much on it. I think I read about maybe a chapter or 2 a night. I will probably get wrapped up into this at some point, but yeah, this one's, like I said, it's taking all my time right now. I have also started the audiobook of Kiss Cut. It's it's by Karen Slaughter. It's the second book in the Grant County series, but I haven't gotten very far in it either, because reading this, you see a theme. So yeah, so the 2 books that I did finish this week was my first retro romance, which was Raven's Vow by Gail Wilson, which I really, really enjoyed and gave 4 stars to. And then I listened to Forbidden Falls by Robin Carr, which is the 8th book in the Virgin River series that I buddy read with my friend Barb. And I equally enjoyed it just as much and gave it 4 stars as well. So yeah, so far February is pretty good with 2 4-star reads. And so yeah, hopefully this was not too bad of a reading vlog. I don't think it's going to be too long, but every time I say that, it seems like it's longer than I thought it was going to be. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.